Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today we are starting a new chapter, which is chapter 2. Chapter 2 is titled Sankhya Yoga, and Srila Prabhupada translates this particular chapter title as the contents of the Gita summarized, because in reality, the entire essence of the Bhagavad Gita is contained in the second chapter. And when you look at the summary view of this chapter, you can see this clearly. So if you look at chapter 2, you can say it's broken down into the following sections. From a summary standpoint, shlokas 1 to 10, Arjuna will express some more doubts and then ultimately surrender to Krishna, or the beginning stages of surrender. Then from shlokas 11 to 30, Krishna speaks about jnana. The first element of jnana is that you are not this body. So since you're not this body, you can anyway fight because the soul does not die. Then from shloka 31 to 38, in case jnana is not that appealing of a reason for you not to fight, then anyway, we all have to do some karma. So this karma kanda section from shlokas 31 to 38, if you want to enjoy anything at all in life, then you have to work hard for it. So by doing your prescribed duties, you can attain material enjoyment. Well, if that doesn't appeal to you, then Buddhi Yoga can be followed. From 39 shloka to the 53rd shloka. Buddhi Yoga is actually Nishkama Karma Yoga, which is to do your duties and responsibilities and to be detached from the results. Then essentially you're performing what is called a karma. So you can fight anyway and be completely confident that nothing is going to impact you. No papa, no punya. Because you're going to be completely detached in the process of performing your prescribed duties and responsibilities. And for Arjuna, the prescribed duty is to provide proper governance and uphold dharma. In the last section, which is Sthita Prajna, because Arjuna will ask a question, what are the symptoms of such a person who is practicing this kind of detachment, this kind of bhakti yoga? Prabhupada does not distinguish between buddhi yoga and bhakti yoga, and you will only discover why in the 18th chapter, when Krishna speaks one particular verse. So sthita prajna means to become fixed up in Krishna consciousness or transcendental consciousness. So let's begin with shloka number 1. Sanjaya Uvacha.
Sanjaya Uvacha.
Tam tatha kripaya vishtam.
Tam tatha kripaya vishtam.
Ashrupurna kulekshanam.
Ashrupurna kulekshanam.
Vishidantamidam vakyam.
Vishidantamidam vakyam.
Uvacha madhusudanaha.
Uvacha madhusudanaha.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sanjaya Uvacha.
Sanjaya Uvacha.
Sanjaya said.
Sanjaya said.
Tam. Unto Arjuna.
Unto Arjuna.
Tatha. Thus. Kripaya. By compassion. Avishtam. Overwhelmed. Ashrupurna akula.
Ashrupurna akula.
Full of tears. Ikshanam. Eyes. Vishidantam. Lamenting. Idam. These. Vakyam. Words. Uvacha. said, Madhusudanaha,
Madhusudanaha,
the killer of Madhu.
the killer of Madhu.
Translation. Sanjaya said,
Sanjaya said,
seeing Arjuna full of compassion,
seeing Arjuna full of compassion,
his mind depressed,
his mind depressed,
his eyes full of tears,
his eyes full of tears,
Madhusudana,
Madhusudana,
Krishna,
Krishna,
spoke the following words.
spoke the following words.
So Prabhupada writes Prabhupada here, material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Now, when we read the shloka yesterday, the shloka number 46 of chapter 1, Prabhupada says, Arjuna is a great devotee, so his heart is filled with compassion. But look at how Prabhupada is starting this Bhagavad. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. So Prabhupada is distinguishing between compassion for the body, compassion for the soul. Compassion for the soul is actually the right kind of compassion. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. So we also are all fighting our inner demons, and sometimes we need somebody who's wise to guide us on how to conquer our inner demons. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. For example, if somebody is drowning in the river and you only rescue the outer garment, then that doesn't make very much sense. You should rescue the person wearing the garment. So in this case, the soul is wearing a garment of a body. So if you only rescue the body, then that's quite senseless. You have to rescue the soul that is wearing this body. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. So the meaning of Shudra is someone who laments unnecessarily. Someone who laments for things that are not appropriate to lament for. So since we are all drowning in the samsara, the proper rescue for the jivatmas that are drowning in this ocean of samsara is actually to rescue the soul. How do you rescue the soul? By connecting that soul back to Krishna. So only taking care of the externals like the body and the mind is not sufficient, because that soul will just come back and take on another body and another body and another body. So what is the real way of saving this drowning soul? Is to connect that soul back to Krishna. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the supreme authority, Lord Shri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self. So another commentary. To describe Arjuna's feelings, Sanjaya uses the word kripaya, meaning pity or compassion. This compassion is of two kinds. One is the divine compassion that God and the saints feel towards the souls in the material realm on seeing their suffering in separation to God. So this is what great acharyas and mahajans feel. They feel, just look at this soul trapped in this body, experiencing Maya. So that is true compassion. The other is the material compassion that we feel upon seeing the bodily distress of others. So if you see somebody poor, or if you see somebody who has not had food for many days, you also feel compassion. Not that that compassion is wrong, it is appropriate. So it is appropriate to make sure that we feed the poor and give them good health care wherever we can, give them access to medical facilities if they cannot afford it, make sure they have decent shelter so they can raise their family. All of this is our responsibility. So material compassion is a noble sentiment that is not perfectly directed. It is like being obsessed with the health of the car while the driver sitting within is famished for food. So it's like putting petrol in the car, but the driver is starving. So what is the point? Arjuna is experiencing the second kind of sentiment. He is overwhelmed with material pity toward his enemies gathered for battle. So apparently Arjuna is experiencing material compassion, not spiritual compassion, because all the reasons he is given are material. I have to pay for my sins. Family tradition will be broken. I can't enjoy myself. I feel sorry for them. All these are material reasons. He is not given any spiritual reasons because there cannot be any. He is overwhelmed with material pity toward his enemies gathered for battle. The fact that Arjuna is overcome by grief and despair shows that he is himself in dire need of compassion. Therefore, the idea of his being merciful upon others is meaningless. How can you be merciful on others when you yourself are suffering? Somebody else has to be merciful upon you. Somebody has to rescue you. A tied man cannot rescue another tied man. This Prabhupada has used this analogy. In this verse, Sri Krishna is addressed as Madhusudana. He had slayed the demon Madhu and hence gotten this name Madhusudana, or slayer of the Madhu demon. Here he is about to slay the demon of doubt that has arisen in Arjuna's mind and is preventing him from discharging his duty. So when we are also beset with doubts, it prevents us from making decisions, as we discussed yesterday. So this is obviously an emotional reaction to the situation, right? What Arjuna is experiencing. Our emotions, this is His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's commentary, are extremely powerful and extremely fickle. Fickle means they can change suddenly and unpredictably and can destroy our determination and indeed our entire life. The Bhagavad Gita begins by demonstrating this formidable power of emotions. An undefeatable warrior about to begin his life's biggest war is overpowered even before a single arrow is shot. How? By the attack of emotions inimical to his determination. So sometimes emotions work against you. Arjuna sees his many relatives arrayed against him on the battlefield, contemplating the impending fratricide. Fratricide means killing your own family members. He becomes so overwhelmed with agony that he starts crying in the middle of the battlefield and loses his will to fight. Yet by the Gita's end, his calmness, clarity, and confidence are restored. Who restores all of this? Krishna does. How did the Gita stabilize Arjuna's emotions? By grounding them in reason and reality. With sound arguments, the Gita reasoned that the real person is the indestructible soul, which is different from the physical body whose destruction is inevitable. By explaining that the war would not destroy his relatives, but would transport them to a level of existence more attuned to their level of consciousness, the Gita calmed Arjuna, which means, yes, physically, many soldiers are about to lose their bodies. Many relatives are about to lose their bodies. But that's not the end of the soul. The soul is going to be taken to a higher level of consciousness. It'll occupy a new body and continue its journey. What grounded his emotions fully was the understanding that Krishna's love for all living beings is existence's supreme reality. We are Krishna's eternal parts. He resides in the hearts of all living beings and directs their wanderings as a supreme well-wisher. By harmonizing our emotion with Krishna's emotion through devotional purification, as Arjuna did at the end of the Gita, we all can follow in his illustrious footsteps. So in very simple words, we have to align our will with the Lord's supreme will. And Prabhupada uses the word dovetail. Dovetail means to absolutely match. Whatever Krishna's desire is, that should be our desire. Whatever Krishna wants us to accomplish, that should be our desire to accomplish. If Krishna wants us to come back to him, then that should be our goal. Our goal should be to go back to Krishna. Therefore, Krishna's instructions must be followed if we want to please and satisfy Krishna and ultimately go back to him. When we learn to ground our emotions in the Gita's philosophical reasoning and in the supreme reality of Krishna's love, our emotions stop disempowering and misdirecting us. Instead, they start directing and empowering us towards deeper spiritual realization and richer devotional fulfillment. So essentially, the Gita is a trajectory of how Arjuna moves from a position of weakness, spiritual weakness, to a position of spiritual strength. This compassion is nice. You don't want to unnecessarily inflict suffering on others. But sometimes, to stop adharma, you have to utilize violence so that dharma can be restored.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.